Hi everyone, my name is Chandni Chavla. I'm a partner at Chavla, Gogia and Lund, and I'm here present today as the council for Aditya and Generator. Before we get started, why don't we have a quick round of introductions just to familiarize ourselves with one another? Since I've already started, I think my client will go first, and I would love to get to know the two of you better.
Hi everyone. Hi Tara. It is so good to see you again after so long. I'm Aditya Pradhan. I'm the founder of the company Generator. I'm just so excited by the prospect of us working together again. So I'm really happy that we have this opportunity to sit together, and I can't wait for you to hear our proposal.
Hi Aditya, it is surreal to see you here. I'm Tara Connor. I developed the CRISPR technology and I hope to have a productive session so the potential of this technology can be realized.
Good afternoon all. I'm Vishal Chandra, the managing partner in Chandra, Kesali and Arthur, and I'll be representing the interest of Ms. Tara here in this particular session.
Thank you, Tara. I think before we get started, and let's see some stages.
I think I'd love to hear from Aditya.
Right. So again, Tara, it is so good to see you again. After so long, if you ask me, it's been way too long. We should have caught up in the middle. But I have to say this. When I came out of the meeting one day and I saw the news and I read about your new technology, instantly a huge smile came on my face because from our days in IIT, I knew if you go on to great things, not only in the field of genetic editing, it will change the world as a whole. I became so nostalgic just thinking about the long hours that we spent together debating how we would change the world, how we would transform the world of biotechnology and medicine. And I'm so glad to see that this didn't just remain a dream. We're actually making it a reality. So I'm proud of us for doing that. Now, a little bit about what I have done after graduating from IIT. I went on to form the company Generator, which is a trailblazing company. And what it aims to do is it aims to provide low-cost commercialization and scaling of any new technology that comes into countries like India. We employ a unique model, and that's where I think we get success, is that we leverage the low cost of manufacturing in a country like India with a high amount of talent that you can find there, and this allows us to access a global network of clients. Now, so this is a little bit about my company, but in case it's not too technical, just consider my company to be like a hub or a port to which new technology tends to enter the market. Now, I'll be honest with you, I have tried to make our way into cell-based genetic editing before. However, this field of medicine and this field of biotechnology is dominated by healthcare giants. I'm sure, Tara, you understand. And I do not want to be involved with them because their aim is the complete opposite of money. These healthcare giants, they seem to chase developed economies, they chase profits. Whereas I'm looking, I want to increase access much like you, Tara. Which is why, like I said, as soon as I saw the news, I immediately called up Sanji and I said, we have to start putting up a proposal so we can reach out to Tara, come together, sit down and discuss, and hopefully have a very fruitful session and work together in the future, just like we used to in our golden days at IIT. So now, I'm more well versed with the science aspect of it, so I leave it to Sanji to deal with the more legal aspect of our proposal.
Thank you, Aditya. And once again, I'm Chandni Chavla, and I'm the counsel for Aditya and Generator. I'm here in a purely advisory capacity and to protect the interests of my clients. Now, as Aditya has already told you, Generator deals with low-cost commercialization and scaling of technology, similar to CRISPR. And of course, as you're aware, CRISPR is state-of-the-art gene editing technology, and it's the most active and safest procedure on the market. And that's a imperative that we're able to commercialize it, but in such a way that people in emerging markets can get access to it. Which is why what our score will be used today is the same. And that's the theme we want to proceed on as well, which is the three A's: accessibility, affordability, and availability. That what we seek to discuss today is fourfold. First would be the rights to whisper. Of course, will it be open access or will it be excluded? Now, second would be exactly the same in terms of what compensation you would require from an Aditya generator. Because of course, I understand a lot of R&D from your laboratory and a lot of MS gone into this. A third would be the exact process of how we plan on scaling this in emerging markets. Because that is something I'm just very I think enough to address any concerns that we have related to him. And the fourth would be future collaboration. I believe the start of collaboration between collaborative environment between your laboratory and generator. And in the future, not only between you and Aditya, but even your own researchers and people who work in your laboratory, even they can collaborate as well. Which is why that's what we seek to discuss today. I look forward to learn doing it.
Thank you so much. That was lovely of it. That was very sweet of you. So a little bit about myself, of course. I'm Tara. I did develop this, and oftentimes I do think about our times at IIT. When you contacted me, it was a pleasant rush from the past, if you will. Especially the discussions we had regarding the ethical implications of gene editing, which was once fiction. Look at where we are today. And I think it's great to hear that you're pretty much the same Aditya I've always known, and that's a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. However, my life experiences pertaining to genetic technology, medicinal technologies, and have not been very pleasant. In the past, I have seen instances of pharmaceutical giants, which you also brought up, taking over control from well-meaning scientists and thereby basically taking away all autonomy that the scientists had over their own product. And I think that's not an ideal situation, especially considering that these scientists want to make a positive change and big pharma wants to make a positive bank statement. In that regard, we also, another concern that has been close to my heart is the fact that most technology becomes extremely expensive. And that is not something I want to see happen with this. I want it to be completely accessible. And I'm glad to see that we're on the same boat in that regard. And in this regard, I think it would be easier if I just set out a boundary as to what exactly I expect from this negotiation and what exactly I expect from you in terms of service provision, in terms of assurances that I give. The first is regarding retention of ownership. So I don't plan on relinquishing ownership over my intellectual property. I wish to maintain some degree of control over it. There are certain models we have prepared. I have prepared with the help of Nisha pertaining to this, and we will be discussing this moving forward. The second is regarding the financing, what we wish to do with the financing, how we wish to get remunerated, etc. The third and final, and I believe the most important, is regarding accessibility. I want to make a dent in the universe, and I think you know that very well, Aditya. So the objective of this negotiation, in my eyes, is to ensure that there is a positive change that results from my technology, and it also makes me capable of making more positive changes. I think Nisha will be more than equipped to deal with the technicalities.
Thank you, Tara, for that. I've been with Mr. Tara for a long time now. I've been assisting her on a whole lot of legal projects, like projects that she has been carrying out, and legal aspects of the same has been handled by me. And when she informed me that there's going to be a commercialization, such as this negotiation on commercialization, I definitely felt that this is something very new. And Tara here completely has a socialistic view for her inventions, where she wants to ensure that her inventions are used to the society. And we are here to only discuss that. I am here only in a representative capacity, and I will not be taking any decisions. In fact, and Tara will have full authority to take any decision she wants. And just to reiterate, this will be a completely confidential session, and nothing will be revealed to the outer world, whatever goes on here in the full world. Let me cut to the chase and lay out the agenda. I think the agendas were laid out very detailed in a detailed manner. I think most of the agendas which we had in mind are overlapping here. First being the rights of the invention itself. So here we would want to address issues pertaining to sharing of technology. How do we wish to share? What are the modalities of the sharing? And how do we want to go ahead with the sharing of this technology in specific? and what are the modalities attached to that. The second agenda being we want to address solutions to ensure that there is some degree of control with Mr. Tara so that she has a say in how this commercialization happens. Of course, we have prepared some models, but we would be more than happy to hear from you. I think more or less our agendas are overlapping. If we could discuss on the aspect of sharing of the technology itself and the modalities related to it, it would be very well, but we are open to discussing anything else as well.
Just to clarify, we have 4 main agendas today. The first being the second being the payment compensation to the Tara. The third being in relation to how you plan on going about human access, and the fourth being
Right. So what essentially we have done is the first 2 issues which you have set up, it comes under our first agenda. Concerns regarding the Indian market is something which we are open to discuss, and future collaboration, of course, depending on how the session goes ahead, we will.
very well. Actually, we get the first blender. Tara, you mentioned that you come up with some proposals with the class. So please enlighten us a bit about that again. How you plan on not building systems giving access.
So the idea behind not giving up ownership is based on my past experiences where I've seen several well-meaning scientists lose control over what their invention stood for and what the result of their invention would be. So in that regard, I do not plan on providing anybody any exclusive rights over my IPR, over the intellectual property of CRISPR. It is primarily going to be open access. I will be providing, I apologize for that. It will be a license-based system. And based on the requirements, based on my requirements and based on what the companies offer me, I will be providing them with a license and hopefully ensuring that the technology is using right there.
Right, Tara, I completely understand. I understand how much you value accessibility. One of the core points for this proposal and this discussion here today, so I understand that. But you're my friend, Tara, so I have to be honest with you. Generator is not that big of a company. We are slowly reaching there, we're making headway. But I want to be honest with you. This is why I do require like some assurance. I understand that exclusive rights fully are not possible. But if I could just get your opinion on, if not exclusive rights, what if you give us a guarantee that in the developing countries, you will not roll out, you will not give rights to your technology to any NMCs, for example, because we know we won't be able to compete for them. Those are also big corporate companies. So in these developing nations where we are trying to make an impact and trying to get this technology at lower rates, if we could get some sort of guarantee that at least for a time period of, let's say, 2 years, you will not give access to this technology in any MNCs or any other companies that we may not be able to compete with.
No, I think Aditya put that pretty well. So essentially what Chandni what they are proposing is the fact that although they don't want to give exclusive rights to any company, at least in emerging countries, give us just a guarantee that you will not partner with an MNC in relationship.
Just to be clear, and I need to understand this better, you are referring to MNCs pertaining to doing something similar to what Generator does, or are you referring to any MNC covering any sort of field related to CRISPR?
We are talking about MNCs in general because they seem to want to get this technology into the market. But one thing that we think we have over MNCs is firstly not just the trust that we have between each other, the fact that we've known each other for so long, but secondly the fact that you and I both know we have the common goal of access. We both want to ensure that the commercialization is done at lower rates so that more people can access this technology. So I feel that if you were to give these rights to, for example, MNCs who want to bring this therapy technology into the market, they might not be able to give you a similar guarantee. They might put prices where we won't be able to provide the technology at lower rates. So that is a concern that we have, and we're trying to get to know what your position is with respect to developing economies. How would you want the product to be rolled out in developing economies?
Give me a second. I would just like to consult my counsel. Sure. All right. So insofar as commercialization and scaling goes, we're willing to not associate ourselves with any MNC, provided that our agreement goes through, of course. That doesn't sound like too much of an issue. We can go ahead with that. But are there any other concerns you have?
Would it be that you give us these rights, not exclusive, of course, these rights to do the same, or would you want to enter into an agreement with us where we both put our foot into the commercialization market together?
Okay. So this is a plan that Nisha and I came up with, and of course Nisha will be explaining it in a more technical manner. But to put it simply, the objective of the licensing system is not to provide license to any separate entity. Our objective, and this is what we look for from you, we wish to create a separate joint entity between both generator and me, you know. So the objective of this joint entity is going to be to specifically deal with the implementation of CRISPR and the sort of the commercialization and scaling of CRISPR at a certain rate, which we will agree upon, which we will discuss moving forward. And the objective of this separate entity is to ensure that I have a certain degree of control over the decisions made pertaining to CRISPR. And in this regard, Nisha also suggested that I seek a 10% stake in the new joint entity to ensure that I have some capacity to make decisions as the board, make decisions and play a role in any decision made regarding this. This is a preliminary outline of the suggestions. I think Nisha should explain it a little better.
That is quite clear here. Our only problem which we are addressing through this is that Tara retains her position with regard to how the medicines will have to be used to ensure that it's used ethically, ensure that it reaches the right population of developing economies predominantly, and ensure that the people of the social strata who are way below and those social strata are able to cope up with various diseases which are going on in their country. So this is something which we want to particularly address, and this is something which we look forward to.
Thank you so much, Tara. Firstly, for the assurance that MNCs will not get access to this technology in developing countries at least, because I think that's where we operate. And we know that we will not be able to do our best if MNCs had access to this technology as well. So I'm glad to see that headway is being made, you're making progress. In terms of your proposal, it sounds great to me. I know that I have worked with Tara before, and I know that we work well together. The entity of working together does sound like a good idea, and now we can make a dent in the universe together. So that does sound like a very good idea to me, but I will leave it to my counsel to deal with the numbers, because stake 10%, I think, would be better.
Yes, thank you, Lucia, and thank you for that proposal. And it's actually kind of great because we had a similar proposal in our mind, which is why I actually sent this such a proposal to evaluators who gave us back an estimated valuation of what such a separate legal entity would be worth, which they estimated would be worth around $250 million US. So now, accordingly, if you want a stake in the company, that will come out to 10%, being $25 million. So the question that I have to you in this case is that apart from this $25 million stake which you have in the separate legal entity, would you want an additional upfront payment as well?
That would be required. There would be an upfront payment which would not be less than $15 million if our stake is 10%.
Okay, and what exactly would this upfront payment be covering?
I think you can explain it better.
Oh, good. So the objective of this upfront payment is to ensure that I have the ability to continue further research on the implications of CRISPR in terms of its ability to reach markets. Further, it's on research regarding genetic diseases and what else CRISPR can fix. CRISPR is a powerful weapon whose capacity even I don't know the entirety of. So our objective with this upfront payment is to both add more research, create other entities to ensure such research happens better.
Okay, and since you're talking about this research happening better, and this is something I'm just looking forward to the third gen for a brief moment. which is that would you be willing to assist us as well in increasing access to this technology as well, so that we can make sure that the markets in India and other emerging economies get access to this country through your support in developing the technology and actually scaling up the technology.
Just to be clear, you're saying you would like assistance in terms of the products of my research, and hoping that that helps you with regard to your commercialization scheme, right?
Right. So as I mentioned, Generator is a company that aims to provide low-cost commercialization and scaling of technology. Now, before we imagine it's going to be a huge technology, and we want as many people to have access to it as possible. Now, the idea of working together is sounding great to me, and because I'm just thinking here, and I'm sure Sandy can consult me better on this. But what our idea is if we are to work together, the scaling up of technology at a rate where we can provide it at a very affordable rate to the populace. For that, we would require some assistance. Because like I said, Sarah, I want to be fully honest with you, fully open. We are a company that is still developing. We have not yet reached our peak, as I may say. So we will require some assistance financially from you in the scaling up of the technology. This is only because so that we can reach our shared goal of wanting to make this technology affordable, accessible, and available to as many people as possible. So before we get into the numbers of it, I just want to see what your opinion on this matter is, because it's amenable to helping out with the scaling. So.
In terms of, I do not think, again, this is something that is in the society, but I do not think that a financial assistance for scaling is going to be possible on my part, because we do have other requirements, which we will discuss moving forward. But the idea of a price ceiling is something we were looking into, and I believe we should sort out the scaling matter first. But however, is there any alternative you can take if we are not able to provide you with financial assistance? How exactly are you going to move about the scaling process?
So what we have to understand here is that the amount of upfront payment that we give directly takes away from the budget of Generator to make this technology cheaper. And thus the technical vendors we propose have a meeting, which is why if you are not able to provide us with financial assistance, what we then propose is that we lower the upfront payment payable and instead we take a higher percentage stake in the joint venture.
All right, and can you give me an estimate as to what percentage of stake you're willing to give?
Of course. So, for example, presently you wanted $15 million. Instead, what we can do is we can take $10 million. If you a 16% stake instead.
So $10 million and 16% stake. Mm-hmm. Give us a second. We'll give you a counter here. We are ready to accept $10 million, but for 18% stake.
I think that's agreeable to my client, and thus in that case, what we could do is we pay you an upfront amount of $10 million, and the stake in return that you take in the joint entity would be 18%. Now, in accordance to that, we'll obviously have to discuss this for the agenda as well, which is how we plan on doing scaling. So I think I can tell you a bit more about what our scaling process is, and accordingly we take it.
Right. Like I mentioned, firstly, good to see that we need some more progress. But right, about scaling, like I mentioned, the job of my company, Generator, is like a coach. Which technology comes in market, and we think of ways of how we have low-cost commercialization and low-cost scaling. We do this at various steps: manufacturing, sales, at any step of this way that we. So for this, like I said, this is a technology going global, going to go worldwide, and we want it to go global and worldwide. And we want affordability, availability, and access to it. However, we also have a crunch when it comes to finances in our company right now. I'll explain a little bit about scaling. So with scaling, the amount of money that we have as a company if the amount is more that we can invest in this project, we can lower the amount at which we offer this product to the people in the market. So right now, like we have said, we would require assistance with scaling. This is because if we get assistance to the number of around total amount we spend around 100, not saying your assistance has to be 100 million, and saying we invest totally 100 million in scaling, we can obviously provide the technology at much lower rate than if we provide the technology, if we invest about 60 million into the project. So that is why we were hoping for any sort of assistance, because now we will be working together in a separate legal entity. It's not the generator which is going to be doing the process. We are talking to you about you getting control, retaining control as you rightly should. So if there's any possibility of any amount of help that you can provide this training.
There was one question here. If we could just gather some information. You need assistance in scaling. What assistance in letting you know established networks which are already there, who are ready to help us, would work for you?
Yeah, I think that would be very helpful. Anything that helps disseminate this technology to more people. But then again, if we do not get any, I'll be very honest with you. Right now, Generator has an amount of about 60 million that we can spend on scaling. That is the amount that we have. We were aiming for 100 million because this would help us truly make the technology accessible and available so that more people could access it. So I'm just being honest here. I want you to have numbers with Tara. I know you so well, and you re-emphasize this is a confidential meeting. So any sort of assistance with monetarily, so that we can offer it to at a lower price to more number of people.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify one thing about. So the more, just to be clear, the more money you have invested, the cheaper you can get your product. Is that because the more money you have, the more networks you can access, or is there a different reason for that?
So there's mainly two reasons for that. One is, of course, the more money we have, the more doors it opens in future funding. The second and more important reason is the more money we have, the more treatments we can make available. So with the present reserves that we have, we can make about 12 million treatments available annually. Now, at that level, we would have to price each and every single individual treatment at 35 to make this a big figure. Now, what's important here is that this is something that I want to know as well, is that you propose imposing somewhat of a price ceiling. Now, what price ceiling were you exactly thinking about here? Because accordingly, then we can calculate how much additional investment you will take.
1 second, I need to consult with my counsel. All right, just to be clear, couple of things I'd like to say here. First of all, regarding the price ceiling itself. The price ceiling we were thinking was in the neighborhood of $15 per medicine, but I understand that there are certain concerns pertaining to that. Secondarily, there are, can I ask what exactly the upfront cost is for setting up your network?
Presently, the upfront cost is also variable. And the reason it's variable is because we can make back that upfront cost using just by pricing different actions differently. So we, in total, and this varies according to the amount of actions we're making available, but it will be between 400 million and 450 million US dollars. So that's the amount you have to make back as well.
All right, I understand. Right. So here's the thing. So there are certain networks we have the capacity of accessing, such as the World Health Organization, as well as certain benefits that Stanford has provided me, as a result of which we're able to reduce initial upfront costs of setting up and distributing this to about $50 million. So will that be a helpful incentive?
To clarify,
I'll clarify and then you can move on. So what Tara wanted to say here was technically we have support from the World Health Organization, and they are ready to help us with their network, essentially somewhat solving the problem of network. And second aspect of Stanford, who are ready to give us equipment at a heavy discount to ensure that the total investment goes down significantly up to $50 million. These are the techniques. If you want some more clarity, we are ready.
Right. I think I just want some clarity here. This is not very scientific, so I'm not very well versed with it. But when you say that the total cost could go down to 50 million, would that be a setting up the new entity or what is going down? If you can just clarify that.
Yeah, that's the cost of reducing the upfront cost to set up the investing fund. Would go down to around $50 million. If we procure equipment at a heavy discount from banks.
Yeah, I think that sounds good because for us, a major issue is how to set up a new entity and be able to price this drug at a truly affordable price. But of course, seeking the support of World Health Organization, Stanford, of course, Tara, you have these connections. I should never have doubted you. But seeing these connections, I think this does work for us. Um, apologies. This does work for us, and I think we will be able to yeah, I think we'll be able to have the funds to make up for the remaining aspect of setting up the new entity.
So just to clarify, or maybe you can clarify.
No, so I think that's doing very well. But just something that I want to ask Tara over here is that are you still adamant in the price ceiling being about $15 in the present period? Or could that price ceiling be imposed later and we can gradually bring it down as we're scaling up production?
So my requirement is quite simple. I want my technology to be accessible from the beginning. I want a price ceiling to exist from the beginning because I want people to understand that the technology can be accessed from the beginning. I don't want there to be an image that is too expensive.
Well, so what happens now is if we're able to lower our upfront cost from $100 million to $50 million, we end up paying $50 million. So we have an extra $50 million in that. Now, presently, with $60 million, we could produce 12 million total volume. If we have, when we have $110 million, we'll be able to produce $22 million total value. In that case, if on a $15 price ceiling is not work, we would have to price it around $18 to make back our cost. Would that be a reasonable
$18 per, I think that sounds great to me. I think an $18 price ceiling is very attractive.
In that case, I think we've resolved the first three agendas and we can summarize the same as well.
I had one clarification with regard to the upfront payment and the state aspect of it. Sorry for bringing up late, but I think we should clarify this. So we have agreed to the fact that I will be getting the upfront payment of $10 million along with the 18% stake for a valuation of
$250 million.
$250 million. That was the only.
Okay, thank you. So then in that case, in respect to the first three agendas, respect to the first agenda of right, you have given us a guarantee that for at least a period of 2 years, you will not collaborate with any MNC as far as commercialization of the technology goes in emerging countries. With respect to the second aspect of it, which is the payment for it. So there'll be a split payment after we set up a separate legal entity for the same. We will give you $10 million in return for 18% stake in the separate legal entity. And thirdly, what we just discussed in relation to the amount of investment that we'll be doing, we'll be putting in $110 million and then being able to produce 22 million total volume of this technology. And in return, each will be each single individual product will be priced at $18.
Just a couple of more things. So we were also hoping to have a consistent stream of income in the form of royalties from the product, from the preferred products that we will be selling. So we were hoping for a 4% royalty per 4% royalties per year. 4% royalties per year, and in addition to this, we are also looking for a non-voter seat in the board of directors with a new joint entity, if that's amenable to you.
Right. So I completely understand that you want control over this technology because it is your child. So I understand wanting a say in the board of directors. I'm not too well versed with the numbers which I leave to my counsel, but one thing I'd like to point out and say is that we're really investing all our money into this one project. Like I told you, I've been very honest with you. I told you our numbers, and you're willing to invest all of it, and we're doing it happily. But then again, we would also require some money so that we can continue making a dent in this universe, like we say, so that we can also continue with our R&D. So I'd like you to keep that in mind before I think I leave it to my counsel to discuss the numerical aspect of the proposal.
Of course. So in the present case, when we price each vaccine at $18 million, at $18, along with 22 million of total volume, the total revenue generates about $406 million. In which case 4% royalties would come out to a bit over $16 million. So in that case, the amount usually receiving every year would be $16 million. How long would such a royalty payment schedule be functional for?
All right, Aditya really is moved me. So what we're thinking is, we understand 16 million may be far too much to ask given the scale and scope of the project. So what we would suggest is $4 million annually in royalty for a time period so specified, possibly in future, through future negotiations if necessary. Or if there's a time period you have in mind, please let us know. We'll let you know if it's amenable.
I think, Tara, you'd be better suited to give us a number. It's a technology you've created. You are the one who has the patent over the technology. So if you could give us a number for how long you would want this royalty. I don't think it would be the best for me to impose a number here, since I don't want to overstep my boundaries and respect the trust and cooperation that we have.
So we were initially thinking of 4% of royalties for over 10 years. So now maybe we can say that, given that it's 1/4, if I'm not wrong, it's 1/4, and $4 million, and you multiply it with 4, so 40 years, $4 million.
40 years is a bit too long of an agreement, especially at such a nascent stage. Of course, as Tara mentioned yourself, you can flesh out the details later. But we're really agreeable to the fact that you're willing to lower the royalty amount to what $4 million is roughly 1% of the total output. So I think we can just flesh out the details later, and if it's okay with you, I think we can skip to the fourth agenda and then collaborate. But
yeah, I think one more point before we go on to collaboration. I think we should flesh this out a little more. For how long have you got your patent over the technology? If you could get perhaps a number there, we'd be able to put a number to the royalties. If you could.
Maybe I can take that up. The patent, we have the patent right for 20 years from now on.
Right, I think that is why the 40 years is seeming a little excessive to us, because if your patent alone is for 20 years, your royalty of 40 years is not adding up for us. So I think my counsel is considered.
of course, in that case, it will be agreeable with you. We can do 0.5% royalty for 20 years, which is the period in some practice.
0.5 would be $2 million
Yeah.
For 20
years.
Would it be possible for you to keep it 1% for the period of?
I think, what if it is in the middle? 0.75%.
All right. Go for it.
That's great. Then I think we can.
Just before moving to the fourth issue, I think Tara had raised this point of having a member on the board. We want to hear you on.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that I understand completely that you want control, so we are okay with you having a member on the board. You have a.
So the clarification is, so Tara will obviously be on the board, and she would have another person who she trusts in and believes in, so that she retains some amount of control over the company.
Right, so that makes sense. This is our child now, this company. It's not just ours, it's not just mine. So I feel like that makes sense. We both trust each other, we work together, and I know that we have a good long future of working together as long as this continues. So that is amenable to us, and that's perfectly fine. So I think we can move to the fourth agenda. Yeah, future collaboration. I think this is somehow something that is the closest to me now that we have decided that we will work together. And this Sarah, I must tell you, what my company does is we hire a lot of researchers, a lot of people to investigate so that we can think of creative ways of lowering the cost of commercialization. And one thing I must say is I've started a project where I take on researchers annually only from IIT. They, from our alma mater, I take on these researchers who work under my tutelage to learn. But many of them, when they heard that I would be meeting you, they've heard about our stories together in IIT. So many of them also want the opportunity to maybe work with someone like you. They want the opportunity to come to your labs and work with you. Maybe we can set up some knowledge sharing partnership, something like that. If you're down to do that, if you're, I'd love to hear your opinions on it before we flesh it out in more detail.
You flatter me, honestly. So of course, I would love to meet the young, you were once the young children of IIT, So I'd love to meet them. We'll have to look into what exactly they will be learning, what information they have access to, given that in this world, my IP is possibly my largest, my most significant asset. But I would love for a system like this, for an arrangement like this to go through. I think our councils can discuss the arrangements of this once they let us know our rights. And are there any other suggestions regarding future collaborations you have?
No, just it's like I want to make sure that we make the most of this opportunity. I understand there's an opportunity we have at Stanford with the labs, the equipment that we use there. It is not the same that I can provide in my lab, but I still don't want the researchers or scientists in my lab to suffer. And now that we have this huge collaboration where we're setting up a separate legal entity together, so I feel like if they can also perhaps visit the lab, see how we work, see how you work, Sarah, not to share any IP. I understand that it's a very sensitive subject. We will not even ask that. But just so that they can perhaps get some amount of knowledge from you, like a knowledge sharing program or a training partnership, right? Like consider an internship, of course. We did so many of those in our time together. So consider that they be learning from you. So and using the equipment at Stanford labs, big labs, just some rotational programs like this. I must say this is something that I wanted to mention.
That sounds lovely. We would love to go ahead with the situation with a program like this. That sounds great.
So I would want to just sum up what has we arrived at. We have made significant progress here. We have come to a deal as well. Looking forward to this exciting collaboration. So we have agreed to the fact that there will be a share of 0.75% on $400 million as royalty. That's one aspect. Initially, we agreed to the fact that there will be a $10 million upfront payment for it, and then there will be a 18% stake which will be provided at a valuation of $260 million. This is with regard to the investment in the company, creation of a separate joint venture. And there have been agreements arrived at with regard to future collaborations, with regard to training of younger scientists, the newer generation, and looking forward to a better future. Yeah, anything if I have missed out, please feel free to.
Of course, just one more thing I wanted to bring up was how you would willing and you will be putting us in touch with your network, your international network with WHO and Stanford.
So the question is how exactly. So we do have access to the networks that Stanford and WHO provide, specifically regarding the discounted equipment. So the purchase of the equipment post the formation of the joint entity will be made in my name, and therefore the equipment will be shipped to or will be transported to whichever necessary location. That can be, of course, discussed in future sessions. Further, regarding the access to the WHO's network, I think there is a specific process which the WHO itself outlines, the technicalities of which, again, elude me right now, but I'm sure we can discuss that in future sessions. But I did have one question I'd like to clarify right now. So regarding the 0.75 thing, can you once again tell me the math surrounding the 0.75%?
Yeah. So the total output generated if we price each vaccine at $18, and the total output is 22 million. We each chose the technology at $18, and the total output is 22 million. Then the total revenue generated is $406 million. At that case, if you get 0.75% royalty every year, your total royalty amount would be $3 million.
Okay, so can we agree to this? Can we say either 0.5% or $3 million, whichever is higher?
Yes, I think maybe.
That sounds good. All right, then I'm happy with what happened.
There was very good awareness on that because the company might be small today, but will be growing tomorrow. That's what we hope. And yeah, I think it was a fruitful session here. Thank you. I think I summarized most of the aspects here. One last point which I had to put across is you have agreed to the fact that Tara will obviously be on the board of directors alongside another member who will not hold any stake in the company. Yeah.
Right, of course. Like I said, I'm very happy just to be at this table today. Like, I don't think both of you can understand just how special it is for Tara and I to be here. But I'm so happy that we were not just able to come together, but we were actually able to have a good discussion about what the future is going to look like. And I can't wait to start working together with you. And like I said, we take a gem together in the evening. Actually, let's create a big bang. Why did we restrict ourselves to a small gem? So I think I'm very excited for what the future is going to look like for all of us. And thank you for listening to our proposal with so much patience.
Thank you so much for inviting us to California in the first place. It's my first time. And I really enjoyed it. I'm glad we reached a conclusion and we reached an agreement on this proposal. And I look forward to making a big plan in the future.
It was surreal for me too. I couldn't believe I had to look twice when I received that email from you. But it was great meeting you. It's great to see that we still share the same vision regarding the impact biotechnology can have to improve the lives of people. And it's this altruism that's missing in today's world. And I'm so glad. I think that's the spark that the Big Bang is going to need.
Thank you all.
We don't have any questions per se, but if the process is over, we have some thoughts that we'd like to share. All three of us with some feedback to all of you.
What is the process involved now? The winner to be declared first, then comments.
Okay, so we tell you what our thoughts are on this requirement. We do that. We tell you separately, but we give the small generic feedback on the thing.
So then I will not point to any particular process that I will get confused in comments. I think those of you who spoke with confidence and intent of obtaining what you want, you will realize that you are possibly closer to getting it. And those who began with the